It comes as a tree, and then it becomes even more glorious and magnificent over time. This is an incredible smart deal. Not only is it a glorious floral, it's a butterfly attractor. Excuse me, I just jumped into the camera there. It's a butterfly attractor, and it's great when you pull it inside for the winter months, it will still flourish. And you can put it in your own pot like we did here, but it becomes something so magnificent. You don't have to wait. It is so popular. Over 6,000 have been spoken for. So you might have missed it over the course of the week. We have it in the show for a reason. Alice fell in love with it. I love it too. I love the beauty of this flower. It's very pure and beautiful. I mean, the magnificence of the color. And then of course the smell and the fragrance. But we have Rochelle Grayer joining us via Skype, who is a garden designer extraordinaire. It is so good to see you, Rochelle.
You too, Callie. Good to see you.
Oh my gosh, this is the most incredible tree and gardenias. This is the first I've seen of its kind.
You know, I'll be honest, I had never seen one before we started offering it here on HSN either. Slightly familiar with gardenias, but I'm a northern gardener, so we don't really get them up here, which is partially why I think this is so exciting of an offering, because where, you know, you guys down in Florida, you see them, you grew up with them. Up here up north, we don't even see them really in nurseries or anything, even though we can grow them as patio plants in the summer and then bring them in as houseplants in the winter, which is exactly what I'm going to do with mine.
Yeah, I tell you. And this
is gorgeous though.
It is so beautiful. I love the green. It's like a waxy green leaf. I just want to show how it comes shipped to you. And then Rochelle, you can talk us through what we do first, but it is the easiest thing in the world because it comes as a tree. It doesn't come like a little seedling.
Yeah, it is an impressive thing coming right out of that box. We ship it in the same box as we ship our other braided hibiscus tree. But I got to say, when I opened up this box, both of which, by the way, are completely just so fun to open that box up, because the box, if you're, I'm 5'10", the box comes up to, you know, here on me, and there's a whole tree in this thing. This one, though, is even taller than the braided hibiscus if you happen to buy it. It was probably a foot taller coming out of the box, and even bushier. Mine had, I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't actually fit on the screen here with my camera angle. I think it has about 8 blooms right out of the box, which is fantastic. They'll open up in the next couple weeks, and literally it takes 1 bloom to kind of scent a whole area. It does not take much. These are super potent. They are the most fragrant flowers in nature, which is to say a lot, to be honest. I'm sure that studio just smells amazing right now, Kelly.
It really does. I mean, to be able to float these beautiful florals in a bowl and put them even as a centerpiece, we put them here because it creates a fragrance in your home. So if it's an outdoor plant that you're putting outside, it does thrive in heat and humidity, but it does grow in any part of the country. It lives for years too, without a lot of pruning. There's not a lot of deadheading, other than when that bloom becomes that magnificent. Maybe you pluck it and put it in, you know, a centerpiece, because it is one of the prettiest white, beautiful flowers that kind of turns into a slight bit of a creamier white color as it matures and blossoms. I just love this piece. Love it. It
is. A lot of people say that those flowers remind them of magnolias, like little ones. And to be honest, these ones, you know, they are littler than magnolias. Magnolias are big. But this variety of gardenia, by the way, it's called Aimee, and it is different than other ones we've offered on HSN and other ones you've probably seen. It is particularly happy to be trained as a standard, which is what we've done here, which is to say it is that little tree, like a lollipop, like a plant on a stick kind of thing, which is a very chic way to grow something like this. But also the blooms on this are substantially bigger than what you might be used to on a gardenia tree. Most gardenia or shrub, most gardenias, their blooms are, you know, maybe 2 to 2.5 inches in diameter. They pack a real punch, but this one has much bigger blooms. They're about 4 inches in diameter. So you even get that, not only that more scented, you know, just olfactory awesomeness that comes with that, but they're beautiful as well. They're much bigger and much showier.
And I love the idea of, I mean, because even in an apartment balcony, you can have something like this. There's, you know, a lot of apartments are so limited and restricted on what you can plant. Or if you get 2 and flank the sides of the front door as you're walking up. I mean, this is, I look at this and I just think the most elegant wedding of all time, because it is just such a beautiful, you know, just like a pristine floral, and it's maybe the extreme contrast of the green waxy leaves and then that, I mean, it's just a swirl of a floral. It is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for everybody getting this, and we are so busy on it to smell it. It is amazing. Gardenia is probably one of our favorite, fragrances when you think about perfumes and that sort of thing, because it's just something so beautiful from nature. But Gardenia at its absolute finest. I just wanted to share too, because I know it's very popular. One other way, if you wanted to get a couple of these, and I'm saying that because HSN card holders, you can always add another flex, as you know. But if you don't have the card, this Memorial Day weekend, we're offering this promo. $40 off that first purchase once you get that up and opened. So do it. That would make your hibiscus or your gardenia tree $9.95. And again, if you're just tuning in, it isn't a little seedling or it's not a little baby. It comes as a tree. I mean, I'm 5'9" and a slight little heel, but look at it's already at least 4 feet tall.
Yeah, it is a big tree. Very, very impressive. And the container size is actually good size too. I think it's a gallon on that one. I will say this, when you get it home, I would plant it in a bigger container as soon as you can. It'll be much happier and you'll be much happier. It'll give the tree more root space and more availability to grow, but you'll also be happier because you won't have to water it quite as much. That extra, soil and root area will make it a lot more resilient to, kind of our lives and not having to baby the plants. So, and I'm like looking at this shot here. It's so amazing. I want to point out to you, there are a lot of tricks in horticulture and we can make leaves look like that when they don't really look like that, all that shiny prettiness. I just want to say that is how those leaves actually look. They do not have any like floral culture trickery going on here. No. They are really like that.
That's why I keep calling them waxy, because they have such a deep green and they've got just a little bit of a shine. This is a real tree. This is not an artificial look-alike. It is what you will be receiving. Do this on a flex at $16.65. Add a fourth if you have an HSN card, and it's only $12.50. And if you want to get that HSN card opened, you will save $40 on this if you want, making it $9.95. I mean, that would be the smartest of all smart deals. There's no question about it, but it is extremely popular. I know Alice ordered multiples yesterday. That is a great idea. If you want to send this off to a mom or a dad or a sister or a brother or a son and daughter-in-law, you can let us know where they live. We'll send it directly to them. Still no charge. You still don't pay shipping charges. That's on us. And then it's just like you buy it now, but you just pay it off a little over time, no interest, but you can enjoy it all of that time. So with that being said, Rochelle, I just want a couple questions for you. This is something, I love the suggestion of taking it out of this pot and putting it into a bigger pot as quickly as possible, because it will flourish. Should we put this in a sunny spot? Should we put it in a shaded spot? What's your suggestion?
It's gonna want a decent amount of sun. I would say minimum of 4 hours a day. So, but it'll be even happier with a little more. It'll be tolerant of a little less. The more north you live, the more sun you probably want to give it. So my patio has that nice mix. Most patios do. It'll be great there. That dark foliage is going to really be more. Just deep and full of color if it gets enough sunlight. So make sure you get enough sun. If you bring it in, just to be clear, if you are in anything really north of the most southern climates in the United States, you're gonna wanna bring this in the winter and treat it like a house plant. So when you bring it in, you're gonna wanna make sure it gets in a nice sunny window and gets, at least a good half a day's worth of sunlight. So that's basically what it needs, about a half a day worth of sunlight.
Okay, good to know, good to know. Honestly, this is one of the most magnificent pieces I've seen. And I mean, it is just an amazing species. I do have a magnolia tree in my front yard and it's beautiful. It blooms every once in a while and they're big, but the leaves are really kind of a nightmare because they just drop constantly. I'm always blowing them off. But this is not one that requires a lot of work or maintenance or deadheading or pruning or trimming, is it?
No, those blooms will fall off when they're done. They do last pretty long, so that's a nice thing about them. The other thing that's really lovely about those blooms is when they first come out, they are the most pristine white blooms you've ever seen. Like they're so pristine and white, but then they age so gracefully. You can even see it on one there. They get kind of this really creamy kind of yellow, like that, this creamy white, which is also so elegant. So, just leave them on, let them fall. You can clean those up eventually. They're going to keep emitting that smell though. So you kind of want to let them last as long as possible because they are just loaded with those fragrant oils that are just going to perfume the entire area around the plant.
I tell you what, and this is not scheduled to air at all for the rest of the day. It is a beautiful thing. I mean, every day you will appreciate it. Every day you'll look at it and just enjoy the majesty of it. I mean, I'm such a nature girl, and I've also just really spent a lot of this time during quarantine in my gardens and in my yard and pruning and trimming and fertilizing, and it's just been so great. It's been very therapeutic for me. I know you're gonna love this. Thank you for your orders. Rochelle, thank you for joining us via Skype. A magnificent new item from Leaf and Petal. Be safe, my friend. We will see you again soon. You guys, you also, of course, have 90 days, so plant it in a bigger pot and watch it grow. It's gorgeous. So a couple things I'm going to share. We have an incredible item coming up next.